Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Championship Series number 9. They've brought me, for some reason, back out of retirement into the commentary booth, and I am joined alongside the wonderful Chris Meadows. How are you doing, Chris?
Yeah, good, thanks. Happy to have you back. Love dragging you out of retirement. It's what I live for.
Someone's got to do it, is basically what the discussion was at the end of the season. We're into the last dying moments of free practice, and we'll be jumping into qualifying shortly. But yeah, how has it been? How have you been? How have you been getting on, Chris?
To be honest, I quite enjoyed the little gap we've had. You know, there was a lot of sim racing up until now, but I've missed it, and I'm ready to be back. Ready to see these rookies throw down, these silver guys throw down. I can't wait to see some good racing around. One of my favourite tracks, Suzuka.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really nice track to start off with. Obviously, these guys are going to have to be getting used to something a little bit different, that actually not different for us, which is that it's going to be nighttime when they get into, especially into the second race late into the evening. But yeah, they're going to have to work on how to drive Suzuka, which is, like I said, a fantastic track, but this time in the night. And what challenges do you think that's going to throw up for our drivers?
To be honest, if you've only ever practiced in the day, a lot of people miss their brake, like have to readjust their braking points is the most common complaint I've heard about switching from night and day. Just having that adaptability to adjust like what the markers you're using and the where on the track exactly you are in the nighttime can throw a spanner in the works sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely can. I mean, we're looking at this number 96 Aston Martin, and it's already got a few bumps and scrapes on its front bumper. So I feel like we're going to have a lot of that this evening. I mean, it's week 1. These are how, if you've not seen or watched ACCSS before, how it works is we do our Championship Series runs over 3 nights. Friday night is our lowest, say, ability group, which are the rookies, mixed with our mid-ability group, which are the silvers. So it's our mid-packer and rookie driver really night. So you'll be seeing the red badged AM drivers this evening are all rookie classed, and the white badged drivers are your silver class. So that's what you're going to see this evening. So there are going to be a mix of pace, and then tomorrow we head over to our bronze and gold evening, which is. Go on, Chris. Sorry, you cut off a little bit.
I was just saying, hype. That's where both of us are racing.
Yeah, both of us are going to take each other out as per usual.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, we've got the golds, which are probably they are our fastest drivers that haven't applied to be part of the pro split, and our bronze drivers, which are still very talented guys, and they both push each other on in different standards. But the gold split this season, I obviously done the splits a couple last week and looked at it, and it is very competitive.
Oh, it's stacked, isn't it?
The gold split tomorrow has got some really fast guys and some really clean guys as well. And I've just jinxed it there by saying really clean guys. But but yeah, it's gonna be a fun night tomorrow night with our gold and bronze evening, and then the weekend culminates in our final race on Sunday, which is our pro split. And how pro works is 32 of the best drivers in ACCSS apply to be part of pro every season. Drivers that are what we call your band, so they've won the best championship that we've had to offer before, so they have to go and drive in pro amongst 15 to 16 drivers of our highest ranking that have all applied to take part in pro, and Sunday is just a whole bunch of fireworks. It's going to be awesome to see.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, Suzuka, tricky track. It's difficult to overtake here, so this qualifying session just starting now for the rookies. First 15 minutes, the rookies going out to qualify. It's important. Qualifying well here is important. It being difficult to overtake.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that on Wednesday nights. If, like I say, again, if you're new to ACCSS, on Wednesday we do a run-through or a community race where all of the abilities can come together and race in a 45-minute race. And there was lots of complaining about how difficult it is to overtake at Suzuka. So qualifying is
really bad quali.
So qualifying is going to be key. So Yeah, it should be good. I mean, the car color choice is tragic, and we will get to back to a classic of mine, which is the livery review on the first grid. The first grid walk of the season. We'll go for a little livery review.
But Cal's one of those people that thinks it's funny to run a bad livery. You know, I don't agree with that.
He's also one of those people that probably have very little friends. So it's always they're the type of people that run these sort of liveries. So it's all well and good though that he's out here trying his best, trying to go for another win.
That's what we're here for. We're here for the triers.
Yeah. So the outlap beginning. Let's have a little look at who is on the grid this evening. So in the red corner, at the top of the time, we've got Alice McGuigan, obviously long-time driver in ACCSS now, ready to compete. She says she's got some she's got some goals. She's got some goals that she wants to achieve this season, and she's going to be taking part in the Ferrari Evo by the looks of it. So you mentioned Cal Mason. We've got Roy Bottomley also in the Audi. We've got Jan Nicholas Weschelberg, which has apparently been absolutely dominating practice during the week.
Yes, apparently so. But in the community race, was involved in some carnage. So, as we always say in these, one lap pace doesn't matter in a race.
It doesn't.
You know, you can be the fastest. Like, there's been many races both of us have been a part of where the fastest guy over one lap didn't win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you get to pro, you will tend to get to that a lot more consistent. Like the people that lap quick will just dominate the races, which is pros. That's what you expect. But down here in the rookie basement, it's a Friday night. It's definitely is more tricky, more enticing to work on your racecraft rather than your out and out pace. So Cal Mason then, first driver to go through and set a timed lap, I believe. I think number 10 in front of him is on their out lap. Who's number 10? Let's have a little look here. That's Eckhart von Glan, again another long-time driver in ACCSS. The reason the reason that he wasn't promoted was because we had a bit of a restructure this season. So we've gone from 6 classes to 5, moved the numbers around a little bit, and where he ranked would still put him in rookie. So that's why he's not been promoted this season. The God's honest truth is I didn't notice that he won last season. And that's probably why he didn't get promoted. But we have had a reshuffle anyway, and he still can compete at this level and have a competitive grid around him.
Yeah, I think he's one of those margin drivers that could have been in either split.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's we have a lot of data on these drivers, and I mean, he was flashing this Eckhart to get out of the way, but I think he then hoped for a toe going into 130R. So
well, Eckhart's a considerate guy and is gonna let him go. So
very well experienced. I learned actually that I think it's Eckhart, but I'm pretty sure it is Eckhart. Obviously, one of the first members in ACCSS back in the day, but also one of the first 100 members in race department as well. Oh, so nice. I think they're doing a little piece on him. Or piece on the 15-year anniversary of race department this year. I think they're doing a little piece on him and some of the historic members. Cal invalidated his lap clearly, so number 23 is going to be the next one that's coming through.
Also, one last thing to say about Eckhart is he's driven a different car in every single season. So this season is his Beamer season. So he's been trying a little bit of everything. So this season he's in the BMW, but he's not driven the same car in 2 consecutive seasons.
And he has
shout out to him for that.
He's probably got the best livery as well for.
That is one of the best liveries. To be fair, one of the best liveries in the game. It's just a shame it's on a BMW.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely one of the top tier liveries. Is Mr. Von Glam.
How are we looking for laps so far?
There's 1 or 2 on the board.
Leading the way. 204.1. Solid sighter.
There's a few names in here this season that I don't recognise, which is always a great thing to see. I love all the new drivers coming and take part. Walker is one of them.
Yeah, Walker's not one I recognise either.
No. Bell, I'm not sure I recognise Bell. I obviously recognise Benson. He's our sort of, I say he's not our head steward, but effectively he's our head endurance steward. Not
ACCSS legend, Mark Benson.
Not out of choice, out of the fact that he was the only one to be here for 10 hours straight for the Silverstone race that we covered for SGP.
That's how most of us got roles here at ACCSS.
Yeah, basically I just abuse you. abuse you, lock you up in the basement, and only feed you when you're good.
Yeah, that's why I'll be good tonight, sir. I promise.
Yeah, please feed me. Medina as well. that's just gone from the fact that we didn't know some of the new drivers that are taking part this season. Medina, I recognise him I think he's done a couple of community races with us, but I haven't seen him compete at this level. But some of these drivers are putting up some big old times. So you can see Eckhart von Glan come over and cross the line. I think it's going to be sort of a mid 206, 207 most likely.
Mason putting in a provisional pole lap.
Oh, now he's making me look like an idiot.
I mean,
he's going to put it in a wall after 10 minutes, so it's all
yeah.
good. Oh, a big twitch there for Duncan Walker. No, I do recognise the name Duncan Walker. But I don't... I'll have to go and look on Sim Racing GP and have a little look at where I recognise him from. But he moves up into third. Or he stays in third, sorry, because Michael Bell has moved up into second, putting his lap on the board. Got Joe Wright coming in at a 2:04.4.
Yeah, solid opening laps from these guys. I'm impressed so far.
Yeah, a couple of drivers not to set a lap time yet. Alice McGuigan being one of them, and Cole Jand. I want to say I'm back, so I'm going to completely slate everyone's surnames, and there's nothing they can do about it.
We're both English at the end of the day, so
yeah. We both
any Euros are going to have to deal with the fact that we can't say surnames.
Yeah, big off in front from 52, which I believe is Roy Bottomley, car 52. Big off in Degna 2. I was going to call it Lesmo 2 then, but not at Monza.
Carl Jans has a big old slides through T1.
Alice McGuigan.
Zuluvica is a track where it's easy to invalidate. There's a few places, in particular, the exit 130R, the Degnas, if you cut too much on the inside. You know, there's some easy invalidations to have here.
Speak of the devil.
This could be a thing.
Speak of the devil, Alice McGuigan, I'm pretty sure just invalidated there through Spoon as well.
I think Spoon is... It seems like a relatively straightforward corner, but to absolutely nail it is so tricky. The traction on the exit there is so difficult to get right.
Yeah, you've got to have the right sort of line going through there to give you the right trajectory coming through the exit of it, especially if you allow pedal it a little bit too much. Oh, has he saved that? He hasn't. Mick Howe was he was 1.6 seconds up, and he invalidated in there.
And that last chicane is very easy to break that fraction too late.
Yeah, definitely.
Go deep into it. Yeah, as Andre says, Spoon off camber is weird corner. It's difficult. Like it's just tricky. It's tricky to get the traction down as much as you want. I always find I'm either too cautious and it feels smooth because I'm not going fast enough, or I'm not cautious enough and the back end steps out and it's massive oversteer coming out of there.
Terry Williams then jumps up 4 or 5 places there, put himself up into 6th. How is Alice is valid? She's still valid. I've just noticed, by the way, the lap times in the race control app. If they're valid, they're white. If they're invalid, they're red. I mean, you can tell I finally, not only have I come out of retirement, I've also upgraded my software, and I'm now using it. I'm now using. You're not using the race control app.
No, I can just tell by the colour of the dot, DT.
Oh yeah, I mean there was a lot of dots, and I could when I click on the car, it goes red, so it's not really. Don't give me dot spot talk when I was giving the grief on Wednesday.
I mean, streaming with me, you're gonna get a little bit of grief. Come on.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, whoever I sign up with gives me grief. I mean, it is the way the world works. All right, let's get the old.
Wow, Weschelberg with a 2:01.9. What a lap.
That is a bit of a flex.
That's probably quicker than me, honestly, in gold.
What we will say is lap times tonight aren't comparable to what we'll see for the rest of the season. These guys have had about 4 weeks to practice around Suzuka. So
you mean round 1 in general?
Round 1 in general.
Compared to us tomorrow, I'm like, oh god, I hope they're not comparable.
No, round one across all the splits is very uncomparable to the rest of the season because these guys have had 4-5 weeks to practice, depending on how friendly they are with me and when I told them what the first track was going to be, or when they noticed when I turned the practice server over. They've had plenty of time to practice, and some of them you'll see here today have been putting the work in, especially for Suzuka. Alice McGuigan then goes in 6th, and it's just
seeing that
Carl Gann.
rivalry develop at the top of rookies already, though, with Weschelberg and Mason. They're the top 2 right now by a significant margin as well. So I'd expect to see that to be the battle to watch for this season.
Yeah, it definitely will be. The Weschelberg Mason battle will be one that hopefully a few drivers we're missing this evening can throw some spanners into the work going forward then. So Turner then doesn't move up any spots, but does gain about 4 seconds on his previous best.
Nice.
Von Glan is 8/10 up at the moment. That'd be enough to see him move. Oh, there's quite a big gap there. You could jump 3 or 4 places with this because 6th to 8th all in the 2.8 seconds away. Last couple of laps then for these guys. Neither have I trousers. Neither have I. I've not practiced either.
Well, both of you stay away from me then.
Well, I will. You'll be so far behind me like you were at Suzuka on Wednesday that
wow.
You won't be anywhere near me.
You know, I'm switching cars, okay? I got enough flack for being an Aston driver, noob Aston driver. I had to defend my honour by switching cars this season.
You don't need to be it's not a noob Aston driver. I've driven the Aston for 9 seasons. It's because I don't have time to practice.
That's what you always say.
Yep.
And then you consistently beat me, and it's very annoying.
I mean, it's just because I'm that damn good. Roy...
it's the gear you've got. It's the gear you've got.
Yeah, exactly. Eckhart von Glan has lost quite a lot of that time that he was up. He's now only going to find 2 temps. That's going to have to put him onto the back of Bottomley.
Imagine that. Beamer not too happy with that final chicane. And not the easiest car to wrangle around the slow speed stuff, from what I understand.
Howell putting in a competitive lap time here for the rookies. He's again lost about half a second going through the Casio triangle. Still
be careful there as well, because if you cut it too much, you can invalidate your next lap.
Yeah. Mason struggling to find the time to compete with Weschelberg at the top of the tree at the moment.
I don't know if he will be able to find that extra time, to be honest, but as we say, 1 lap pace isn't race pace. Racecraft, big factor in this, especially with the traffic that these guys are going to be facing with potentially slower or even speed silvers that are still to qualify that could slot themselves within in that gap between them at the minute, which could cause some drama.
Oh, Medina gets all loose going through 130R.
Just Porsche things.
Right, so this is going to be Mason's last attempt then at a lap to compete with Weschelberg's pole time. He's through just going into the S's now. Hasn't gained any time. Has found a couple attempts there going through the penultimate S.
I'll say he did impress me in the community race on Wednesday, did Cal. Right up until the last lap, where he went for an optimistic move. But his pace was good. He held on for 44.5 out of 45 minutes before he binned it, which is a record for him, I think.
I'm still seeing a lot of Ferraris. And if you were around in the race, the Ferraris weren't doing too well around Suzuka on Wednesday night. I mean, numerous of them in the pit entrance wall. Or just dead on 130R. Mason lost all of his time there in the hairpin.
Good.
Alice McGuigan's about to find 7/10. It's enough to put her up into the top 5.
For her. Yeah. She can hold on to this.
Should be enough to stick her into 1.3, 1.4 seconds. Eating up the time. Could be enough to compete on the second row of the grids. Or the second row of the rookie grid, anyway.
On Alice. So the silver's going out now as we're past 15 minutes. So that's it for our rookie drivers. No more laps to be done from them. So these are the last laps that they're going to be set. But yeah, Alice putting herself in P4. Very nice.
Mason's not going to fire. Oh, he has found a couple of attempts in the Casio triangle.
It's not going to be enough though.
No, it's not 5. It's 1 at best. Or it's looking flat at the moment. Could be very, very close.
I think he'll be happy with the P2.
Yeah, it's a good start.
Yeah, good. So that's our rookie grid. Unless Roy can put a banger in.
No, he's invalid. So, who is going to be the first... Oh, there's a big old train of silver cars. Is it
Yeah, who's at the front
99?
of
Is it?
that?
I think it's Matt F. Number 99 is the front
Matt
of
F, yes.
MF. Let's get a prediction on the go. We haven't had one. I don't know how long it was.
Oh, yeah. When did we last do a prediction?
I don't know. Let's go
I
for.
don't even know how to do them.
Who's
on pole?
Yeah.
Go on.
Will a silver driver make pole?
Oh, that's a good shout because a 2019. That's a good time.
There we go. Got it.
Mason has a nasty colour scheme. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
if
it's
you could
awful.
just at him in the general chat and tell him how bad his livery is, if everybody could do that, I'd much appreciate it.
So here we go then. Matt F about to start his first flying lap.
Coming into T1. Tricky T1, right? That braking is kind of awkward to get right.
Well, I mean, that is why the Aston is very good around here, because you can throw it into T1 and it will stick. Whereas in a lot of other cars, Ferrari, obviously we just saw there, struggling a little bit under Matt F's control. But I mean, you can get it there, and when you get it there good, it's really good. But
I actually think the Aston's like the best through the S's out of any car I've driven through this track. It's just it's so nice through there.
I just think I just think the Aston's just a great car.
Well, it is. It is. You're not wrong.
Matt F getting a little bit wobbly coming through dead line. Could have saved that a little bit more if he's a little bit wider out towards the curve. I think that may have invalidated his lap.
That's still good.
What are you seeing? Because my Delta's saying it's invalid.
Oh, it's invalid. Damn. That must have been just. Degna's tricky for the Ferrari. It doesn't like that entry curb on the first Degna. You have to catch just the right amount of curb on the Ferrari to carry the speed through. But Matt F drove the Porsche last season, so switching it up again this season, but was very competitive in that Porsche. So I'm looking to see him do well this season.
And got a nice healthy gap at the front of the trainer cars as well in qualifying.
Yeah.
So
Terrell in the 488 Aston, the classic number for an Aston Martin.
Camille Legaski. Oh, here we go. It's already started, Chris.
Camille, yeah.
Camille is the only car so far out of the front three that is on a valid lap. I believe number 12, Pinky's pulled in behind him, I think, or let him go, or I don't know where he's gone, but he was the next car round behind Matt F, but it's now down to Camille. He's going to set the benchmark for the silver drivers to try and beat.
See Andre in chat talking rubbish about me. It's the only car you've seen me drive, my friend.
Oh,
I've driven many cars. Who was that in the blue
I'm not sure. We're going to have to find out who that blue
Let's
McLaren
name and shame. Name and shame. That's what we're all about here.
Gonzalez. Was it Gonzalez? I can't. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Gonzalez there on the.
I will say one to watch. I think in the silver split is Romain Fabini, currently P33 for his pit box, but he has also been lighting up the practice servers this week. Looks like he's got some serious pace around this track.
Yeah, he certainly was on fire on Wednesday night in our dry, or I'll say dry run, it was dry, but our daytime run around Suzuka. It seems to have that McLaren absolutely pinned, and I mean, gets enough of that Casio triangle there to keep it valid, but also gain as much of a smooth run out of that final corner. Hopefully should be putting on time to take overall pole here.
One of the rubber dinghy rapids crew. It's
tight. Oh, it's tight. 9,000.
Is he a new driver? I don't recognise him.
He's done a couple of the driver swap races that we've done. Is where I recognise him from. I don't recognise him from competing. That was too easy of a prediction. 99% of you getting that right then. You can have your wife coins back. 9 minutes to go then in this qualifying session.
Remain any improvement basically, we'll see him on pole. That is, I've just watched him. That's not going to be an improvement this lap.
I mean, he needs to find a big improvement, but Hamling is finding a giant improvement as he's coming through 130R at the moment. Got a reasonably nice toe off of the number 96 Aston Martin in front of him. That's Jose Martinez. Oh, that's going to... Audi can't do that. The Audi cannot do that. They're all invalid. He's slow.
Martinez. He's got the pace in hand, though. Got that pace there.
He definitely has. Martinez then 4 tenths up, needs to find 3. So this would be enough to put him on pole. I believe he's had a very, very chunky toe off of Gareth Lee there in the 226 Bentley. But 2:01.5 puts him on provisional pole. Anyone looking to compete that? We've got Rainer Schul crossing the line, going in 11th. Christophe Garcia again, been round since probably the very first season of ACCSS, if I remember correctly. And he's currently 7 tenths up and 1.7 off the lead. So making an impressive dent.
Yeah, Gustav, I've raced against him many times. Solid racer.
Yeah, he does know what he's doing at the hands of that Lexus. Classic team name, back marker Warriors. Love to see it. Perez in the meantime moving up was 4th, but Martinez, Hamling, Fabini, and Hawkins have now making up your top 4, with Milstead putting in a lap time that lap that's put him up into 5th.
So if I'm correct, Hawkins has got a promotion this season from a lower split, because he was consistently one of the faster guys, but often struggled with incidents within the race.
Yeah, I think I'm not saying commitment to turning up, but I think he missed quite a few rounds a couple of seasons ago, and then had a few incidents with penalties and not being able to take part in all the races last season. So he's definitely got the pace. I mean, he's driven alongside us in silver, maybe even gold a couple of seasons ago. I recognise competing against Hawkins in the same split as him.
And Milstead's, I think, another one to watch out for, because I think he got kind of destroyed on Wednesday. But I mean, he's definitely got the pace to compete up at the top here.
I mean, this lap time here is going to put him in pole, I believe. And it may even be the first lap time into the 2 minutes as well. It is, 2 minutes 9.78 then.
Wow, what a banger.
He doesn't actually have... he only has the fastest first sector, and that is by...
I couldn't do that. I'm telling you now, I'm not going to be able to do that tomorrow.
He's up already as well in turn 1. Fabini then looking to compete with that. He needs to find 7 tenths after that lap time. But look at the gap between 3, 4 and 5. It's less than 4 100ths of a second. So it's really tight, trying to get their hands on the front row.
Yeah. Very competitive. And I've always said this. I 100% believe in track evolution. Whether or not it's in my brain or not, I'm not sure. But my best qualifying performances have always come with the last lap of qualifying. I've always managed to pull out that bit extra, so I don't know if it's in my brain or if track evolution is really a thing, but I do believe that if you can stick it out and be one of the last cars to set a lap, you have a pretty significant advantage.
Yeah, you've definitely got to fuel your way through the, for the whole stint, I think, or you've got to fuel it so that you have that last lap of fuel for the last lap of the qualifying session. Really,
3 or 4 laps is what you want to do in qualifying, in my opinion, and then make sure that 3rd or 4th lap is the last lap you set.
And while we've been chatting absolute rubbish here, by the way, Fabini has put a lap time in enough to put himself on pole. So he's gone 2:09 flat, and that's knocked Milstead down. Obviously, Chris had his money on Fabini, and Fabini was rapid on Wednesday night. 4 laps into his qualifying stint, but Milstead is looking to come back as well. Currently 3.5 tenths up with just 130R and the Casio Triangle to go.
I can't be right. I need an emotion, Dan. I can't compete.
Milstead throws it away into the triangle. He's got enough time. He's got 4.5 minutes to find the lap.
I think there.
Got a couple of drivers out there still yet to set a lap. Jason Day, I believe, just turned up. This is his out lap. So he was running.
2 M Turner. Are they both Mark Turners?
We've got Mark Turner, Martin Turner.
Martin. Okay.
Oh, they're both under M Turner. Oh, pardon me.
At least they're different splits, though. At least they're different splits.
Yeah, different splits.
Romain, my boy, holding it down.
There's M Turner 2. Mark has invalidated his lap. Oh, I need to turn that off. Live timing isn't working this evening, ladies and gentlemen, before you try and click that link. Let me go and turn that command off. Timings off. There you go, done. Zedelberg just save that? No, he is invalid. Pink Knee, sorry, is 8 tenths up at the moment. Oh, the sound of that AMG coming out of Spoon was just just catching the right sort of camera angle.
We'll say for the rookies, considering they were relatively close, Weschelberg and Mason now have a number of cars between them. It's going to make it tricky for Mason. Oh, I love that Ferris wheel, don't you? In the night
why do you think we're driving at night?
Yeah, it's the best bit of this track, honestly.
It really is. Couple of
like
cars.
Like Shane said earlier, it's made me been a bunch of laps looking at that instead of the apex I should have been going for.
So Pinkney moves up. Well, let's have a little look how the guys at the top are doing. None of them out on a lap at the moment except Hamling. Half a second's coming out of the S's, I believe. Yeah, he's just coming out of the S's and is 3 temps up. Needs to find 8 though to compete for the pole position, but can try and put himself on the front row.
And as we said earlier, quali super important in this track because there's not a lot of places you can overtake here. T1, maybe the hairpin if you're feeling brave. The last chicane, that's about it really, and they're all big like braking zone commits. So both drivers have to be aware of the move happening for it to really work.
Yeah, we've got a couple of warnings coming through for 77 and 337 for crossing the pit exit line during qualifying. That's why I told them in the briefing to read the handbook. I'm not going to read it for them in the driver's briefing.
Most important rule in ACCSS, don't cross the pit line.
Don't cross the pit line.
Has cost me many times. You'd think I'd learn, but no.
Maybe. One day you'll learn.
No, I don't think so. Have we got any improvers as we come into the last lap? Oh, number 12 getting bad rejoin warning.
82 Hamling is up. He's a substantial chunk up. Not enough to take pole, but enough to move himself onto the second row. But talking of improvements, and Fabini, 3 temps up this lap, just coming through the hairpin.
He should just stop. He's going to embarrass me at this point. Could solidify that pole though. So I don't think it doesn't look like Milstead's going out for another one.
Milstead's not even going to get round for an outlap. Hamling is up a 10th. Gonzalez is up 3 temps. Terrell, one we've not shined a light on besides his car number, is up 4 temps. So there is still going to be some improvements in the stuff. You put me on the spot there with that question, David. I think, where are we next week?
Laguna, right?
Oh yeah, next week we're at Laguna Seca, and then the week after we are at...
Stetterton?
No, Stetterton's 4. No, yeah, it could be, Stetterton, and then Zolder, and then Paul Ricard for the finale. If you're here for the countdown timer, it would have shown you. Any thoughts on the new countdown timer, by the way?
I like it.
Oh, Fabini then goes in at the top of the tree. And does improve to a 2:06. Lewis Hawkins here, a second up on his time, with just a spoon and 130 yards to go. Not a lot of other drivers going to find improvement. Like I said, Milstead in the pits, along with Terrell, Lee, and Matt F. So Hawkins is probably going to be one of the only drivers left that can compete for the top of the leaderboard at the moment. He is around a second up on his time.
Well, Gonzalez has gone off at the last turn, so he's done.
Hamling's lost all of his time in coming out of the Casio triangle, whereas Hawkins has found a little bit of time, not enough to put him on pole, but this could knock Gonzalez off of the second row, and it does. Pushes him up into third then.
Nice.
So we've got a couple of drivers left out on track. Elberg, 6 temps up. Daly
pole is a tricky place to defend in this track. You know, because you don't want to go too narrow into T1, but if you don't go narrow enough, you leave it open to be dive bombed. So P3 is not a bad place to be.
It's not. Elberg at the Elberg. Sorry, I don't want to say Edelberg. Elberg is 8 temps up, so that's going to put him up quite a few positions towards sort of guard stig level, around 17th. Fabini was up on his time, but he seemed to have just It's gone for a breather, cool down lap for his final lap. But this is going to be the last time that's probably going to see an improvement this evening. 1.3, 1.2 seconds. Lost a whole chunk though.
Yeah.
Lost it. He's down to about 3 attempts up. That's going to be a bit. I know exactly how that feels, by the way. Having a massive chunk of time and then just losing it at one point, you've got no chance to bring that time back. So Edelberg moves into 22nd then, and that's going to be the qualifying session over, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to head to a very short ad break before we come back and join us for the action for race number 1 of the ACC Sim Series Championship Series number 9. And we are back then, ladies and gentlemen, with the action. Oh, and I've got a game crash. So we're going to head to another short break whilst I fix the game crash. Week 1, ladies and gentlemen.
For fuck's sake.
And we're back. We're back, and I think we've saved the crash. Let's have a little look. Yeah, we are back. We've saved the crash.
No crashes were had here.
No crashes. You saw nothing, chat. Let's just connect that back up. We'll go over to the broadcasting. We'll head into our delectable free cam.
Well, we've got a second. Don't forget to click the Twitch buttons.
Why is free cam not working? Again, technical issues, week 1, ladies and gentlemen.
10 seconds.
You know, what happens when you call somebody out of retirement?
Exactly, see? Okay, we're getting something off the controller, but no movement. There we go. Ah, there we go. We got it back.
Hey.
We got it back.
Professional.
Let's go park it over at the S's and we'll go through the grid walk from the S's as they come round. I'll take you through the grid on this formation.
I mean, you don't get to see this detail of ACCSS a lot. Look at that car part. They decided to model that. You know, they could have fixed the team settings, but no.
Nope.
Car park modelling.
Model the car park. So here we go then. As they come round, I will take you through the grid. So we've got Fabini on pole. Milstead there in the 22 Ferrari. Hawkins, Hamling, 3rd and 4th. Gonzalez and Martinez, 4th and 5th. 5th and 6th, sorry. Terrell, Lee, Matt F. Wesselberg being on pole for our rookie split. Perez, Tweedy, Camille, Pinkney, Daly that make up the top 15. Then we've got Carl Mason, so there's a 6-space gap between our rookie leader and our rookie P2. Shaw and in 17th, Garstig, 18th, Walker, Otley make up the top 20 positions. Then we move into the bottom half of the grid then with McGuigan, Elberg, Bell, Wright, Williams, Bottomley, Von Glan, Howell, Benson, Medina, Briu, Colgander, and the 2 Turners being at the foot of the grid. Who are we keeping an eye out for in race number 1, Chris?
I think we've got to watch out for Weschelberg being
Hmm?
the rookie in between the silvers. I think there's going to be some silver drivers impatient to
Yep.
get past that rookie, and he's got to try and hold his own. I think the battle for first, Rubinia and Milstead, is going to be one to watch. And then also I've got to give a shout out to Alice McGuigan. I think she's worked on her consistency. She told me she's worked on her consistency. So I think she's one to watch today.
Yeah, I mean, she's down in 1, 2, 3. She's 4th in split. So it's definitely a podium on the cards. Tom Tweedy, by the look of it, forgetting to press drive, has moved to the back of the grid.
Rip. I'm sure he'll be very happy about that.
And it's been told in chat it's Ed Terrell's birthday, so hopefully he can get himself at least a birthday podium. Probably more optimistically, though, if everything stays clean, a birthday top 5.
Yeah, shout out to Ed Terrell though. Been here for a little while now. He's a good racer, Ed. I've raced against him a bunch of times, and yeah, I think he's got it in him to gain those positions. So we'll see.
We'll see.
But if Romain can keep it clean, I think he's got this one sewn up personally.
Yeah, he's a very, very good driver.
And we get the classic long Suzuka rundown formation lap to T1.
Are we 2x2? Yeah, we are. We are coming to 2x2 then.
T1 carnage. Hopefully not, but also hopefully yes.
Yeah, let's be honest. We all want a little bit of T1 carnage.
I think there will be. I mean, Suzuka is the kind of track that does lend itself to it. The way T1 works, pushing you to the outside on the way in. You know, if you want to hold that inside line, you've got to hold it, right? So we'll see what happens.
So here we go, then we can see that 829 Lexus in the pit lane to start off race number 1. A massive pull for Fabini. See if that gets penalised by the game. Or the Ferrari of Hawkins has had a bit of a terrible start there. Seems to even themselves out then. So as we come up to the line to start ACCSimSeries Championship Series number 9, we're about to go green then for race number 1 of the rookie and silver split. And we're off.
Let's go!
The McLaren there in P5 of Gonzalez had a great start, trying to thread the needle between the two Ferrari, the Ferrari and the Audi in front of him. Gets them around. Let's have a little look further down the pack. We've had a couple of drivers off. Someone around Cal Mason, but I think there's an issue further ahead. McLaren spinning, Bentley spinning. I think that's the number 96 Aston Martin, which was Martinez from P6.
Oh, no, he's come across the track.
Oh, that's going to have a big old look from our stewards then. So the field evening itself out. And how does it look at the top of the tree? Fabini still leading from Milstead.
Top 10 looking clean.
Well, besides the driver that was 6th that spun. But yeah, I get your point.
The rest of them made it through clearly.
Oh, did Tweedy's formation lap spin? Oh, that's what put him down there apparently. Let's see how our stewards handle that. But the pack of 4 at the front then with Fabini, Milstead, Hamling and Gonzalez all starting to stretch themselves out as we go down. We're waiting for the timing screen to set up. It looks like
Mason's found himself in front of Weschelberg out of the first sector. So that's interesting.
Should we go back and have a little look over the last 60 seconds? We caught them here at the start. Weschelberg. Oh, there you go. Weschelberg's there on the side. So Weschelberg gets caught up in the turn 1 carnage, and that's them two side by side going into the S's. So that's how Mason got the move done. Kept his nose clean, got past the McLaren into turn 2, going through the S's.
Racecraft paying off. Seeing the issues happening. McGuigan also up to P3 in that split. Interesting battle to come, and the rookies. We'll see what develops there. We've got Camille looking for the move on the inside of 130 yard. Manages to go past birthday boy Ed Terrell.
We're still stuck in a replay. I pressed the wrong button, and we're still looking at a replay from the start because I pressed the wrong button in the sheet.
No, we wanted to look at this.
No, it's week 1, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you get. You pull me out of retirement, it's going to be rusty. All right, but look at that lovely train of cars. Like that is Mason, Weschelberg, and McGuigan. So let's have a look how they feel. And those front four starting to stretch their legs. Already got 4 seconds on Lee in P5. But Matt F looking to put the charge down on to Gareth Lee and that Bentley in front of him.
So it's all about not bidding it for these front guys. And I know having led a race and binned it on the last lap, it's easier said than done. Romain just has to keep calm. If he can defend smartly, this race could easily be his. But 27 minutes is a long time to have somebody's lights in your mirror.
I mean, Gonzalez already starting to fall off the back of this train. But it looks like it's going to be a Fabini Milstead show. Maybe some changes in the pit stops. Or as we say that, but McGuigan seems to have got past Weschelberg. Let's have a little look at that back. So Weschelberg still in front here, coming through the S. Jump on board with Alice McGuigan then as we come out of the S's. Catches at that.
Through Dunlop, yeah. He touches the gravel. She does him on the inside. Nice.
And then regains the position.
She got in front for the braking zone.
Yeah, so it's Mason then. They're stretching his legs away from Alice McGuigan before. But if we jump back to the top of the tree, and Gonzalez, like we said, dropped off the back of here. But Hamling here got a much, much better drive. Oh no, Hamling's caught back up, sorry. So I think... Wait, hang on. Gonzalez was behind Hamling. So there's Hamling had him there as well.
Milstead's lost about 1.5 seconds this lap already to Romain. So Romain's got a 2-second gap coming into lap 2 of this race. So he's managing to gap. And if these guys behind him battle, that is the best news he could wish for.
It definitely could. Hamling looking...
Yeah, it looks like he's looking for it. He at least wants to show Gonzalez that he wants it. And Weschelberg, also in the rookie split, is under pressure from Elberg. Oh, they touch! Oh, wow. Fair play to Elberg for turning Weschelberg right around. You might want to go back a little bit to have a look at that, because that was super close. That could have been disastrous.
Oh, they had a little bit of contact as well going into the Casio triangle. I think we've gone back far enough, but
it was into the first or the second turn of the S.
Yeah, I think the replay's about to cut back forward now, and we're going to miss that, unfortunately. We're working on our replay techniques. It's all good.
Right. So Elberg caught the rear end of Weschelberg, having the better pace, but then turned him back around and put him back right. So Weschelberg's in that unenviable position of being a rookie who's close to the top of his split, but with silver drivers behind him, and he doesn't have to let the silver drivers go, but that doesn't necessarily mean the higher split drivers are gonna be patient with him.
Yeah, I think we just saw Camille there have a bit of an issue through the Degners and has lost the position to, I think, both Daly and Terrell. Terrell actually getting the better of both of those cars. Where are the gap? Weschelberg and Alice McGuigan. Weschelberg looking to make a move down the inside of Spoon. Alice McGuigan, I believe, has backed out of it. No, she hasn't. She's kept her nose in, but he definitely was alongside going into Spoon. Alice McGuigan does well to hold that line, but now we've got the charging McLaren with the tow going down 130R, and we all know what a McLaren's like with aero wash.
Gardstig and Albert. Is it Gardstig and Wright are side by side behind them? Right in the AMG, stick set up the inside. And just to hold on. And Garcia's going to lose out to Walker maybe into the Casio triangle.
Big old Constantina effect, which is going to cap Martinez. Who is that on the inside?
That's Ed Terrell, right?
It looked like Ed Terrell. I think it may have been. It was. Let's go back and have a little look at what happened to Ed Terrell then. So, I think there was definitely a big Constantina effect further down the order. Oh yeah, he just gets a big old bumperino from Jason Daly. I expect the stewards to do something about that going forward.
Looks like he's pulling over as well. He's going very slowly down the back straight. Otley's in for a pit. Earliest one to pit, I think.
Yeah, pit window's open now. Now we've got Elberg in the midst of a rookie battle. That's in front of him is What looked like it was Weschelberg. It's car number 8. It's Wright. So Wright's managed to get past Elberg in between the timing beams. Elberg takes that place.
Longer pit window than before, right?
I think it's 20 minutes. I'm not sure what it was. I can't quite remember what it was.
I think it was 10 minutes last season.
Oh, okay, yeah, so it's a little bit longer. Let's have a little look how the battle is at the top. And Gonzalez dropped off the back, and it's now just between. Oh no, it's Gonzalez and Hamling are battling it out. But they've all spread away.
Just avoided a punt there from Turner. The rookie Turner. Oh, who's put it in the wall himself. Oh, and then been touched by Howe.
It's like that's not how you rejoin though, Turner, I'm afraid.
No, you can't join.
Can't rejoin there, sir.
You can't join 90 degrees to the track. That's never going to work out well.
Yeah, that's not going to expect our stewards to have a little look at those. The stewarding sheet slowly filling out. Quite a few warnings given out so far. Nothing to write home to.
I also then come through as they finish looking at them. Still remain managing that gap at the front. 2.3 seconds up from Milstead's. They're looking good at the front for him. Mason slowly pulling a gap on McGuigan. And again, another 2.5 seconds. So this is where Cal needs to just relax, right? He's got cars in front of him that he might be quicker than, but also needs to remember that they're not in his split and he is leading that split and he just needs to finish at this point. But that is easier said than done. When you think you're faster than somebody, I know I've been guilty of this in the past, it's easy to try and go for a move that can cost you a race. Oh, hello, who was that?
That's Alice McGuigan then, off on the side of the road. So that puts Weschelberg up into P2 of the rookie split.
Oh, Alice goes off again as I'm watching. Oh, that's a questionable rejoin into the Degners. She's done okay.
It's that consistency that they've been working on.
Yeah.
It happens. So you got all these cars.
Race pressure is so different from
definitely.
practice. I know, again, another thing I've been super guilty of. You can practice hot lapping all day long, but when you've got 30 other cars around you, it's a different ball game, isn't it?
It certainly is, and we've just seen their penalty come through for our P2 driver, Mr. Milstead, for contact with Hamling on lap 2. As we see Hamling now trying to get the position done back on track with a little move onto the inside of the Casio triangle. That's going to open the door up to Gonzalez, though, on the way out. Gonzalez and Hamling side by side as they come down to complete lap number 5.
Hamling does have the inside for T1. Can he hold on to it?
It's like Gonzalez has got the toe, Hamling's got the positioning. So we'll see how these guys go about it as they move around. Nice enough space left each way. Oh, and I'm not too sure who that was on. I think Hamling pretty much kept a solid line going around the entire corner.
Yeah. I'm inclined to say racing incident for that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Stewards agree, though.
Alice McGuigan then drops from second on the podium down to 5th in that rookie split. Mason and Weschelberg now joined by Joe Wright on the podium, who's down in 13th. Let's have a little look at where the other battles are on track. Obviously, a lot of battles spread out by the pit window. We've got Bell battling it out with Medina, who is in that number 19 Porsche going through the S's at the moment.
Hamling's having another look at Milstead's through the Degners. He tried to go up the inside of the Degners, compromise their lines. So the three of them now Gonzalez is in the spot I like to be in, right? At the back of a train. You kind of want these guys in front of you to battle so that you can capitalize on it, right? Hamling's in the spot I don't like to be in. The middle of the train, because if ever you go for a move, if it doesn't work, you're instantly under pressure from the guy behind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just the most awkward position to be in is to find yourself in that position that they find themselves in now. But see a penalty come in for car 87, and that's that contact with 488 Ed Terrell into the Casio triangle that we saw a few laps ago.
A Pinkney was parked in the middle of the track. That's what cost Alice, apparently.
Yeah.
Romain's got to be loving this battle happening behind him. I mean, he's opened up a 6-second gap now.
Exactly. I mean, Milstead's got to start breaking these guys. He's going to obviously lose both positions with the penalty so far. Car number 15, though, yellow flags. That is LaRue. Waiting for a space to rejoin. Gets it rejoined. Gets it spun on. Needs to move out of the way as effectively as he possibly can. I think he's had a... It looks like he's had a meeting with the wall.
He's doing the right thing now. He's waiting to rejoin.
He's already had a bit of a mare. He's got a few scratches and bumps on that front bumper. Oh, loses the rear end then, and it just sends him round all the way round to meet his nose. Kiss of the barrier. Better than it could have been.
In Aston, would it?
Would not happen in Aston. That thing is glued to the floor. Gets himself spun round and lets the leaders through. That could have been much worse than it actually was.
Spun again.
Okay.
Spun again.
Yeah. And this time on the way out of the S's.
Yeah,
as I said, they are. I thought that I was about to say they are rookie drivers, but LaRue is in silver. So let's jump back to the front of the pack, and this train of 3 cars then, all battling for the final podium position. Gonzalez is the driver missing out at the moment. Actually, Milstead is the driver missing out at the moment due to that 5-second penalty for contact with Hamling on lap 2. Alice McGuigan then into the pits. 11 minutes left. 11 minutes left of the pit window, and we'll see how this filters out as we go through.
Wise, I think Suzuka's a track where the pit stuff is going to matter a lot. It's so tricky to overtake. If you've got the pace on the guys in front of you, you should try to undercut them. And if you've got the pace on the guys behind you, you should try and go long and find that clean air. Although with this many cars on track, there's not so much clean air. I mean, there is some, but finding it is definitely a race skill. And that's what the pit stop tries to teach in these races, right?
Yeah, Gonzalez heads into the pit center. I think Milstead had a bit of a slippery run coming out of Spoon and end up giving the position over to Hamling on the way out. So it looked to me like he gave the position to him. But at the same time, he could have had a bit of a mare coming through. Let's have a little look. Oh, we see an AMG there. I think that's Joe Wright having a tangle with the Casio Triangle. Weschelberg then hits from second place in the rookie division. Duncan Walker. Can't even get that name right at the third time I've asked him.
I think I would try and go long, personally.
Yeah.
But that's because I back my pace, whether or not that's the right decision or not. I think I would like to try and go long. Unless I couldn't overtake somebody, as I said before. But Romain continues to open up that gap out front. Looks like he's gapping these guys. The battle's below, so at this point, all Fabini needs to do is not bin it, which, as I've proved, is easier said than done.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Could be a maiden win in silver split for him, as long as pit stop goes well. And that is one of the most tricky things to get right in ACC is the pit stop phase.
Yeah, it certainly is. But obviously, especially when we get to the higher classes, like we'll see at the weekend the gold guys on Saturday and then the pro guys on Sunday, is we've seen races won and lost in the pit stops. And I mean, talking of pit stops, car 15 has received a 5-second penalty for cutting the pit exit on the way through. Don't do that at all. I think Cal Mason's actually had an issue as well. He was. That's not Cal Mason. Where is he? Here he is. Let's have a little look. He was. He was in the lead of the class, and then he's lost. Oh, he just had the Bentley had a wobble. The 36 Bentley, which I'm not sure who that is, had a wobble, and then that caused Mason to come into contact with his rear and then put him in the wall. And as we're about to see on this replay as well, the 2 cars behind are P2 and P3 in the rookie class as it stands.
I mean, you hate to see it.
Mm-hmm.
He should have maybe boxed after that as well.
trying to think who that is. I recognise
The 36 Bentley. Who is that? That is Howe.
Howe was quite high up the order. Had pitted.
That is P32 right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
bit of an issue. Let's have a little look at. You're having to carry me because I'm writing these penalties in as they come in. So I've got. Let's have a little look at that there. And
Hawkins holding on nicely in P7. Keeping his nose clean so far, I think. That's normally the type of thing I say right before somebody gets a penalty. Juan Glan fighting himself up in P12, but having not boxed yet, but still making good progress through the grids.
Still one of the nicest looking liveries.
100%. That is the best. I love that. Raw.
Rah.
Milstead has potentially... I mean, he's got a little gap in front of him, but he's found himself in some traffic.
He has had to clear that penalty there, but I think they had quite a big gap. Jason Daly then picking up a penalty for an unsafe rejoin. That's the contact with Ed Terrell, sorry, that penalty that we brought to you earlier on. Fabini and Hamling then follow each other into the pits. So this is what we talked about having the good quality pit stops. See Lee as well.
Whoever can stop exactly on their point, the best is going to win, which is one thing that kind of annoys me about this game. But this is the game we choose to play. So... learn it or suck it up, you know?
Learn it or suck it up. Words of wisdom then from Chris Meadows in the commentary booth.
Well, I mean, it's true, right? You either get it right or you don't.
You either get it right. Yeah, it's totally true. So we've got then Fabini stopped a lot further down. We can see him in the back of the picture. We've got Hamling here in P2.
Mason still staying out despite his shunt.
Fabini is moving, and has overtaken Hamling in the pits then. I mean, there was like an 8-second gap, so we could have done that if it was a little bit tighter, but hey-ho, a lot of our drivers choosing to pit this lap. Matt F carries on the lead. Mason still not pit after that collision with the 32 Bentley earlier on.
I mean, if his car still feels good, then no reason not to, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if he's happy poodling around, then so be it.
Yeah, he had a nice gap behind him to Weschelberg. Speaking of, where is Weschelberg right now? Currently down in P18, having already completed his pit stop. So that is one to watch out for, where they come out together when Cal comes out of his pit stop. But Weschelberg looks like he's losing a lot of time behind Martinez in that Aston.
That's the 5-second penalty come in for car number 829. Contact with car number 73. I believe 829 is, it's Tom Tweedy then. So I'm not too sure where that incident took place. But it's contact with the... with the number 73, which is Bell in 19th place. So I think that must have been either in... I think that was probably out of pit stop rotation. Considering there's a few places now in between them. So last of our drivers then, Matt F into the pit, Cal Mason, let's see what he does this lap.
So we want to see where Weschelberg comes out in comparison to Mason.
So Mason and Hawkins follow each other in then.
So it'll be interesting to know if he decides to clear that damage or not. Because if his car feels good, he should not clear it and maintain that time. But if it feels like a pig, then maybe he'll lose out to Weschelberg here. Although Weschelberg is under pressure from silver driver Gardstig. Gustav giving him some.
Yeah, you gotta teach these guys. As Gardstig gets out of it then before having a bit of contact.
That's the classic. That's what I found in the community race. Having had a bad qualifying, I was behind people that I would consider myself to have a better pace than, and through Spoon in particular, on the exit, I had to lift a lot to give these guys the room, and it cost me a lot of lap time.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think Gardstig falling foul of that right there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Gardstig is like down in 10th in the silver split, but Weschelberg is fighting for the lead of the race, and I think he's going to get it. Cal Mason still not moving. Weschelberg coming along the start-finish line then. So Weschelberg is going to take the lead of the race for the rookie split. Fabini, after all said and done in the pit stops now, it's still in the lead by 5 seconds to Hamling. And then that gap has opened up to Gonzalez to 10 seconds. And he's now getting pressure from Lee behind.
Done well there then.
Let's have a little look where the other gaps are.
Hamling had the penalty, right?
No, it was Milstead had the penalty. And
Milstead had the penalty. You're right.
Milstead's going to find himself down in 6th after the
pit stop phase.
Yeah.
And also being bullied, Milstead right now. Well, no, Milstead is bullying, bro. Looking to get the move done before this guy pits. So Milstead behind Daly. Yeah, it looks like he's costing him time, like a lot of time.
Obviously, Brew, the only car yet to pit. I mean, he should get round, but
it's still mega frustrating for Milstead to be in that position because you just want this guy to get out of your way, right?
Yeah, 100%.
He has every right to the racetrack that you do. You know, he's in the race too, so you can't just punt him out of the way. But again, look, just costing him through Spoon on the exit and having to go wide, take the dodgy line, having to look up the inside. It's cost him about a second this lap, I think.
Oh, a little bit of contact there as well between the two of them.
Now he's gonna have to try and send it up the inside. All right, finally, bro, relents and lets Milstead go. But he didn't have to. Now I will say that is his right to hold that position on the racetrack.
Yeah, and Briou's getting absolutely mugged by Camille as well behind now in the.
Oh, he goes off as well. Bro does on the way into the pits.
So let's have a little look at how things stand after the pit stop. We're going to have at the top of the tree Fabini with Hamling and Gonzalez all spread across a 15-second. We're probably safe to say now with only 6 minutes left of the race. A nice buffer. Like this is probably not going to change too much unless drivers have incidents or penalties. But then we move down to
not bin proof.
Not bin. Yeah, I mean these guys certainly are not bin proof. But I mean. Then we move down to the rookies, and these guys have been all over the place all race, which has been great to see. I mean, we've had Mason, McGuigan, Weschelberg as the podium. We've had Wright getting involved, Bell getting involved, Walker getting involved. And at the moment, after the pit stop fade, it's settled by Weschelberg having a big gap. Well, I say big gap. These guys are all in a massive train down from 8th down to about 15th, all within a couple of seconds of each other. But Weschelberg finds himself out on top in 9th place, leading the rookie split. Walker down in 14th, about 4 or 5 seconds behind in the train. And then we've got Joe Wright leading out the podium with Mason having he must have cleared that damage in the pit stop, Chris, because he's down in 21st.
Yeah, must have. I mean, my personal theory is less than 15 seconds. We're driving with it. More than 15 seconds is probably got to be fixed.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine it was a big shunt Cal had. So, there's a drive-through for track limits. Who's that for?
Tom Tweedy. Who that is for. Yeah. So that's gonna give another position over to Elberg, probably Otley, Terrell. All of the actually to fair, those gaps spread out a little bit further back. Baru actually didn't clear his pit stop, so I don't know if he didn't get in time.
He might not have changed tyres.
May not have changed tyres, but he's definitely not cleared the mandatory. So that has left. Baru's going to get a penalty at the end of this race. So let's have a little look at where the battles lie. And Gardstig pressuring Weschelberg. We've seen this for quite a few laps now. And like we said, Weschelberg is the leader of the rookies. Does he let Gardstig, Matt F, Perez... He got a 3-second gap between Perez and Hawkins.
He's under no obligation to let them go. He doesn't have to.
He is under no obligation. But will the battle between Gardstig and Matt F and Perez put enough pressure on Weschelberg to force that mistake that just includes him? I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen incidents behind. Gardstig looking in his mirrors instead of looking out of his front window. It's
does Weschelberg know he's got such a gap to the next person in rookies?
Yeah, I mean, is it 3 cars on the Delta, isn't it? So he probably can't see Walker, and I mean Walker's putting a charge on Hawkins at the moment as well. So he's only 3 tenths behind there.
Yeah, so I don't expect Weschelberg to concede that position even slightly, to be honest.
No,
I know I wouldn't if I was in his position. I'm leading my split. I'm doing my own race. I'm not letting anybody go.
Yeah, definitely not. I'm not going to let anybody go. And a quick note as well, if you're watching this for the first time, welcome. We see a Porsche off there, Perez catching a little bit of Degna too. Welcome. And if you're interested in taking part, you can always sign up over on our Discord server. Head on over there, get as much information as you possibly can from how to take part. There are spaces available for you to take part in the rest of the 4 rounds. Remember, we've got 5 splits of action, all split across race nights.
Do it. We've got evaluation races throughout the week, community races on a Wednesday, league races on the weekend.
All leading up to November. And what happens in November, Chris?
Oh, season 10.
I mean, I'm on about the 24 hours of Spa, but...
fuck that race.
And talking about the decision of whether Weschelberg lets them go, he has decided, I don't know whether through choice or through dodgy line, to let both Guardstig, he had Guardstig before the exit of Spoon, but let Guardstig and Matt F go, and now he's just got Perez for company. But with all the battling that's been going on in the past lap, I mean, the back of this line now, you look at the wing, just behind that Porsche is Walker. So he is within a couple of seconds to the podium.
So not letting anybody else go is... So if he did decide to let that go and that wasn't just a mistake, he shouldn't do that again.
Naughty. Stop. Yeah, you see there, that car, 4th in line of this queue is Duncan Walker, and he is P2 on the podium, sniffing out that 109 McLaren. To be fair, Perez...
And this Porsche is looking for it. Perez not happy to be sat behind a rookie. And that's one of the exciting things we see about this split series racing is, you know, these guys, as I said, under no obligation to hand over that position, but doesn't mean Perez doesn't want him to give it up.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, in the meantime, at the top of the tree, Hamling has been closing that gap down. He's out to 3 seconds away from Fabini, and that's going to open the door. Then Perez, Hawkins comes through just,
and that's the beauty of this split series racing is, you know, one mistake can cost you a position to your own class, so you got to race smart. What's your opinion of the split series? So if you're Perez in this position, how do you feel about Weschelberg being in front of you?
I mean, you have to understand that they're battling their own race. So you have to try and not take part in their race, but also not cock up your own race. And what we've seen there is that happening. Perez so agitated to get past Weschelberg on the penultimate lap that it is. We've just started the final lap now, that ends up making a mistake into the hairpin and loses the position out to Perez. And I mean, Hawkins goes a little bit wide into the triangle. It's going to give Perez the look coming down the start-finish. Hawkins defends the inside line and is going to start to gap and start to stretch his legs on Perez. But like you were saying, I think you've got to look at it both ways. Where is the rookie driver in place for his race? Is he in the lead? Is he in the podium? Is he got it all to die for? Or is he further down the order? Am I going to gain anything for getting past this car? Probably not.
My theory is the same that I have with backmarkers. So, for example, if I'm the higher rank,
get out of the way.
And no. Let me finish. My theory is, you know, if I'm the higher rank driver, I'll always give the guy in front of me the benefit of the doubt, right? If he can hold the pace I want to hold, I'll sit behind him and I'm not going to dive bomb. I'm not going to show my nose on the inside. If he's doing the pace I want to do, I'm happy to sit behind him and do it. If he's doing a more or less similar pace, I'll let him hold that until he makes a mistake, and then I'd expect him to get out of the way. But if he's clearly slower than me and I'm putting my nose up every single time I get a chance, like I'm catching him on almost every corner, I'd kind of expect him to get out of the way.
That is the leader. That was Fabini. You go into the final Casio triangle, catches Eckhart von Glan, and I mean, that could get a penalty. That was Fabini.
If that was on the leader,
Fabini was the leader. Fabini was the leader that made contact with the BMW, trying to get it slowed down into the Casio triangle.
Off to the inside.
Well, the race is finished, Chris. I know you're excited, mate.
Sorry.
I know you're excited. But I mean, the stewards would have to look at that one, because I mean, I'm not too sure what Fabini was doing. Let's go back and have a little look. Let's see if we can catch it.
Because
Oh no, we've not gone back enough.
My monologue.
We've not gone back enough. But essentially, what happened is Fabini dived down the inside of Eckhart von Glan into the Casio triangle, made contact. Both of them cut the triangle, and I mean, Fabini engaged the contact. It's whether or not the stewards decide that it's enough contact. But anyway, let's go back to the rest of the race, and a lot of our cars have finished. Weschelberg did finish in the lead of the rookie split, so congratulations to him. And Fabini, at the moment, pending investigation, did win the silver split. 2 tenths was the gap in the end to Hamling. Hamling on a right charge on the last lap. So the podium for the silvers, Fabini, Hamling, Gonzalez, obviously pending investigation from the stewards of what they do with Fabini. And then the podium for the rookies, Weschelberg, Walker and Joe Wright then. Mason finishing down in 5th. McGuigan finishing down in, I think, 7th or 8th in the rookie split after all that was said and done. We don't do driver of the day anymore, I do know that, but give us your thoughts, give us your...
Vote for driver of the day.
Who do you think would be driver of the day?
I mean, personally, I think Fabini. I know it's the easy answer, but held on for the whole race, extended that gap, kept his nose clean, through the pit stops, got everything right. I don't think you can fault him for that.
No, I certainly can't. He's drive a stellar drive from start to finish, and absolutely dominated. So we're going to head to a short break then. We'll be back in around 60 to 90 seconds with race number 2. Don't go anywhere. Go and get a drink and come right back. And we are back then. We're just waiting for the server just to kick us into race number 2. As I say that, it moves us over. Let's turn that bit on. We'll take you through the grid. We haven't, Joe. We get a little bit of a chance to have a look at some of these liveries as well.
Oh yeah, the livery review.
Livery review. Live!
So bear in mind, classically, race 2, way more carnage than race 1.
Oh, race 2 is full send every week, no matter what.
Yeah. People always like, oh, I could beat this guy, and I just want to overtake him. Let's see your controller controls. Let's see what you got.
Okay, let's bring it down here a little bit. Get a little bit faster. We haven't got too long. Let's go like this. Go full. If we're gonna commit to it, we're gonna go full styling. Hang on, blank. There we go. Okay, so I mean 22. I'm sure he drives with them anyway, but that looks like a very Martin Roundtree, Ed Terrell looking Ferrari. Sorry, the Milstead car. I'm pretty sure he drives with them. Nothing special about the rest of them.
I like that 96 livery. That's one of my favourite liveries in the game, you know. The mental health creep, the smiley face Aston livery. Big fan.
Smiley face on the rear bumper as well.
Yeah,
Quite a
the
big
best bit of it.
quite a big fan. I don't like the grey browny grey of the 488 here, but I like, that's what I mean. Very colour similar to Milstead. I think they all drive together in the same sort of team. 26
Purple
Bentley. Yeah, I mean the wheels are We've got some. I mean, in the words of Lewis Webb, we have some champagne McLarens. So definitely just brown, but they're champagne. Grip Packs Porsche, always a fan favourite. The Lexus, I mean, that's just disgusting. But nothing we can change about that. Too many LEDs on that Mercedes. I mean, we're just going to skip through Cal Mason. Let's just not. Green Bentley, pretty tame
Lexus,
so far. I mean, that Honda one. I mean, it's a Honda one, but that's
I like that one. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the 26. I like the 26 Ferrari. Who is the 26? Oh, that's Alice McGuigan. So I like that one. Two matching Audis. They're both still discussing. I'm a fan of the 305. I'm a fan of. I think it's Terry Williams Porsche. I'm a fan of that. Definitely a fan of Eckhart von Glan. This Bentley is growing on me. It is growing on me a little bit as we go. And then we've got a boring Aston Martin. That's the base colours, I think. Boring Porsche. Same Audi. Everyone got. They all have all the Audis like talk to each other. And then we've got the Bentley, the South African Bentley, and a red McLaren. But I think so far, Terry Williams Porsche is probably my favourite car on the grid. Yourself? Maybe Eckhart von Glan.
Yeah, I think the von Glan BMW. Like I say, if it wasn't a BMW, it would maybe be the car I would drive, because that is a great livery. I think other than that, I don't know. I quite like the Turner 107 Bentley. I quite like the.
That was the blue. Oh no, which one was the one?
Jack on the roof. The 107. Currently P34. It's the one with the Union Jack on the top.
Oh, is that not the South African one? Oh no, it's not the South African one. That's right. Like someone in the chat likes the Honda. That's quite cool.
The Honda, yes, actually.
Ian Otley's Honda.
That black and red Honda was probably my favourite.
Oh, so.
Who's that? Brew? The 337 Ferrari starting from the pits.
A decision from the stewards from race 1, by the way. Fabini has lost the win.
No way.
Yeah, Fabini had a 5-second penalty for contact with Eckhart von Glan, so that does promote Hamling.
That was enough, was it? 5
that was
seconds?
Enough. Yeah, it was 2 tenths. It was 2 tenths in the end.
At some point, didn't he?
Yeah, it was 2 tenths in the end. He keeps second, but yeah, Hamling takes the win then in race number 1.
Oh, gutted.
Right, let's take you through the grid really quickly then. We'll start at the top, as we've just heard from the stewarding department, steward's office, steward's room. Fabini on pole position. He had pole. I think he had fastest lap, and he had the win on paper for race number 1. Lost it out to a 5-second post-race penalty for collision with a back marker. Then we got Milstead then on P2. Hawkins, Hamling on the second row of the grid. Gonzalez, Martinez, Terrell, Lee, Matt F. and Weschelberg, our rookie pole sitter in P10. Then we've got Perez, Tweedy, lucky enough to not spin on the formation lap so far. It sees himself in P2. That was a big loss. I didn't realise he qualified so high, and then spun and couldn't get back up into his starting position in 12th. Camille in 13, Pinckney in 14, Mason in 15, Daly, Shaw, Garstig, Walker, McGuigan make up our top 20. Then we've got Otley, Elberg, Bell, Wright, Bottomley, Williams, Von Glan, Howe and Benson, and Medina, Carl Gander, the 2 Turners, and then we've got Brieux in the pit lane, forgetting to press drive. Race number 2 then, thoughts and feelings going into race number 2.
Carnage.
Carnage.
There's no way. The thing is, right, you sit behind somebody the whole race 1, knowing you're faster than them, and then you have to start race 2, 1, 2, 3 positions behind them. And you know Suzuka's a tricky track to overtake, and the best way to do it is on this first lap into turn 1. You know, you can't help yourself but send it sometimes. I don't know about you. I don't know if you're a sender like I am, but
I just love the.
I can't
You
help myself.
can't
Sometimes
help.
if I know I'm faster than that guy, I've got to send it.
By the
I've
way,
gotta.
people in chat, that isn't being condoned. That you can't help but send it. In future races, you can't go
That
into
is
the
admin advice right there.
a post-race stewarding and go, well, Chris Meadows, admin of ACCSimSeries and fantastic commentator, said that in his quote, you cannot help it but send it. That is why I sent it and got a penalty. That is not going to stand in the show. I will slap that out of existence.
It doesn't stand for me.
Drive through then for Camille.
Already.
Drive through for Camille off the start, and we move in. The McLaren again looking to thread the needle, but Hamling is, I believe, is the Audi at the front, closing the door further
Nice
down.
move from that Ferrari there, defending from on the inside.
I think we've got we've got a big pile up at the back.
Oh, rip.
Right's in the wall. Let's go.
Someone's had a bad time there. Who's that Ferrari? That's Elberg? No.
So Wright gets a good start, splits the difference in between the two Audis. McGuigan covers it off. Oh, and then Elberg comes across, collects the Audi, collects Otley. They don't even. Oh, and then he just causes more and more carnage as he spins down the straight.
That's something I'm seeing from the AMG. Is once you lose it, it spins on a dime.
Absolute full send sausage, that one.
Camille also, despite getting a drive-through off the start, also had a really shocking sector.
Fabini's lost the lead to Milstead then. Coming out of Degner 2, gains it back in the hairpin, gets a little bump round from Hamling. Just a little push to get you going, but that's going to open the door to Hawkins. But Milstead then, halfway through the first lap, something we didn't see in race number 1, has taken the lead of the race then.
Needs to hold on now. No penalties. I think he can do it. He had the pace to. Remains going to be under pressure from Hamling. These top 3, definitely worth keeping an eye on from this race.
Bit of dirt collected up. Weschelberg getting a poor run out of Spoon. Sorry, Tom Tweedy looking to take the position over the rookie leader.
He's on the inside of 130R.
This never
Tom's
ends
not
well.
Let this go. Oh,
he has. He has, but the McLaren's gone full send.
Gone wide.
I mean, it's Pinckney as well has gone wide behind. Constantina effect into the Casio triangle for the first time. Eats some curb. JD gets the position over Pinckney, but then that Constantina's back up again into a little bit more of a topsy-turvy start. But how is it looking as we go through the first lap? Milstead takes the lead a lot closer. We saw in race 1 the front 5 or 6 gain about a 5-second lead after the first lap, and they're still all nose to tail.
Yeah, so Romain managed to pull a gap last time, but now he's got Milstead in front of him. So I'd imagine, if from Romain's point of view, he's looking for Milstead to put down the pace so that he can break the toe of the gap behind before he has to make a move. But that dirty air already costing Romain through Dunlop and putting him under pressure from Hamling.
Hamling also,
Degners. Oh, Romain goes wide again into the Degners.
Romain just needs to settle down. He just needs to settle down, get a little rhythm. He's got the pace. He opened the gap up. So it's about 15 seconds at one point, weren't it, between himself and P3 at the time.
And the train behind him so close that he only needs to not make an error, and Hamling behind him will be under pressure from Hawkins anyway. So he just needs to keep his own nose clean. That is the key at Suzuka. Keep your nose clean. That's all you can ask for around this track. But Milstead has showed he's got good pace around this track. So now he's got the clear air in front of him. Can he pull away?
Yeah, we jump on board with Gonzalez and back of, I say train. This train goes all the way back down to car number 19, which is Medina down in 28th. They're all nose to tail still after 2 laps. We didn't see this too much in race number 1. There's a little gaps opening up between Terrell, Gonzalez, Lee, Weschelberg. All these little gaps that are opening up, but they're not much bigger than the second. We've had a big incident towards that. I just talked about him. Medina, he's had a bit of a wobble through Spoon. I think he's collected a couple of cars as well. Let's have a little look at how this happens.
Right.
I saw a yellow flag in Spoon with his number on it, so not sure if Von Glan and Otley have been caught up in it as well, or Von Glan, yeah, thinks the wall. We saw this on Wednesday. Yeah, we saw it on Wednesday.
Loud pedal on the exit of Spoon. It's a classic.
Oh, and then he catches the McLaren. That's where these guys need to be a little bit careful. It's only week 1 with these guys, so all this sort of stuff is going to happen. But as we go through, we need to. I mean, I'm not too worried about the Eckhart Von Glan and the.
You can't help but bin it sometimes, right?
Yeah, but it's the McLaren coming in behind and just dominating the Porsche is what has happened here. Let's have a little look at what we've got left then.
We'll bend it on the loud pedal through Spoon, I think.
Yeah.
At least in our practice, if not in races. I know I've been there personally, you know. Like I was saying in the qualifying, you know, that's the risk of getting on the loud pedal too early through Spoon is that massive oversteer that just takes you to that inside barrier.
So there we go then. We see the penalty. We thought it might come through, but a drive-through penalty has been given by the stewards to the car number 8, I believe that was. It's been downgraded. It was a drive-through. It's now been downgraded to a 15-second penalty. So I've jumped the gun a little bit there. But that was for the
2 laps down.
Yeah, that was Joe Wright then for the collision on the first lap. This train still going then all the way up down to P5. All Constantina up as we go into Casio. And these are the battles we want to see in the Silver Split. This is what we mean. Like, they've only had 1 race of each other. Some of them had little pockets of races with more of them. But together in a grid, they've only had 1 race. And to see after 4 laps now, this train of cars still fighting it out as we go through.
And then 1 mistake is the difference at this point between 1st and 5th. So
I mean, let's just
keeping
bring
it clean is so important.
I very rarely do, but let's just bring the map up. Look at that train. All the way through the S's, all the way to number 1 at the back, which is Cal Mason, and it's just nose to tail as we head through.
If you hit the gravel at any point, you've got to wait for so many cars to come back on. It's brutal. Brutal.
That's
what this kind of league racing rewards, though. That consistency and that cool under pressure. Being able to deal with the fact that, yeah, I might have 5 cars behind me. Yeah, they might be quicker than me, but I'm going to drive my line. And I'm going to drive my corners, and I'm not going to make any mistakes. And they might be quicker than me, but they've got to actually overtake me to make a difference.
They certainly have then. So Hamlet or Fabini starting to lose the back of Milstead. That's closed up into the hairpin, as you would expect. Then there's a little train of 5 cars between we get to Terrell and Matt F, Martinez, Perez, Lee, Tweedy in there as well, but a much better race than he had in race 1, obviously following that formation lap spin. But he is not holding up, but he has got Weschelberg for company, and Weschelberg is definitely corking the bottle here of the rest of the silver drivers behind. But same situation as we saw in race number 1. He's got 3 silver drivers in between himself and the next driver in the rookie split.
Cal Mason not getting off to quite the lightning start he did last race, but still holding himself on the podium right now. And Weschelberg in front of Tweedy last time, and it was the opposite way round last time. And I think having Tweedy putting pressure on you, I know you've probably driven with Tom as much as I have, but having Tom drive behind you is can be unsettling at times, because he's a aggressive driver, and that's a lot of pressure to deal with for this long into a race.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, when you've got a mixed ability bag like we do here, we're seeing some drivers go into the pits. Hamling being one of them from P3. My eye just had. He's going for the he's had the splash and dash. The Mercedes there of Daly looking to close the gap down to Weschelberg ahead.
Going for the undercut then.
Matt F had closed the gap down to Martinez as well, but that's stretched out as we go through the S's.
See, Gareth turned me on to the idea that the undercut wasn't the one, but I think it 100% comes down to driver skill. I think if you want to... Oh, who's that? Who's off? That blue McLaren? Who was that? Gonzalez hitting the gravel through Dunlop there. A classic cornerlet I don't know about you, but whenever I hit Dunlop, being the last turn of the S's, I have to remind myself to keep turning left because it's quite an understeery corner, especially in the Aston.
Oh no, he's had a
So I have to
proper off.
remind myself.
Yeah, he's had a proper off.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time through there. Again, but that's one of those corners where you only need to slightly touch the gravel on the outside and you lose everything.
Yeah, you lose absolutely everything. So Fabini, Hawkins, Milstead is your top 3. Not in that order. I don't know what order I even read them out in. It was very weird. But in the Croydon Cut and Shut, 184 Ferrari is Hawkins this season. Seen a few penalties added as well. We had one, I believe it was car 23. It was someone was speeding in the pit lane. I can't remember who it was.
That is Rookie M. Turner, which I think is Mark, not Martin. I think it's Mark, right, in the rookies.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so drive through for him. A lot of the penalties coming in for lower ranked drivers, some in the rookies. Often you'll see that where the penalties come through for somebody who's had an incident and it's cost both him and the other driver.
Lovely little bit of throttle control there with the Ferrari through the final part of the S's from Hawkins.
Yeah, he's looking smooth, isn't he?
Some of the cars down the back of the order in the pit lane, Mason being one of them, Williams being another. What other battles have we got here? Elberg, Garstig and Weschelberg. Very similar, like we said, to race number 1 with these guys. And we've got another battle further up for the final place in the top 10 between Daly, Tweedy and Lee.
So tricky to overtake here though, man. I don't know how you get it done. Like, I know I'm an Aston driver and I have been, and I've driven a few other cars around here, but I don't see how you overtake anybody around here on someone within a car that isn't significantly better on the brakes, because to me, they're the only places you can do it. Braking into T1, braking into the final chicane, braking into the hairpin. How else do you get it done? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. It's either just sheer overspeed going into coming down where we're seeing now Daily on 130R.
The exit of Spoon, I guess.
Yeah, it's about, or yeah, like you said, going into Spoon, you put it down the inside, but again, needing the better brakes. And the other places, yeah, just overspeed into 130R. And as you see here, Tom Tweedy having to stick and defend all the way through, makes himself go really deep, has to cut the Casio triangle.
Always let him have it.
Are they both?
Oh, okay.
Well, are they both pitted?
Okay, interesting.
I think Tom wanted to pit as well. I saw a bit of a yellow flag going there, but anyway, they carry on, as it were. Oh, there's a big old squabble pack because of this.
Oh, someone was sideways there. Who was that blue McLaren? Is that who's in that blue McLaren?
Elberg, I think it is.
Is that Gonzalez?
Might have been. So Tom Tweedy obviously has the cut here. And then, there's a collision that pushes 12 in. That causes Weschelberg. What is it? Weschelberg, Garstig, Shaw, all to Constantina up. And they're 5 wide down the start-finish straight.
You'd love to see that.
Was it Pinkney? I think it might have been Pinkney in front was the one that drifted around.
There's been an incident in between the Degners.
Oh, and that's the leaders. The leaders are involved in that, I think. There's some yellow flags involving the leaders. Let's go back and have a little look. So at this point, Fabini's got in front of Milstead. Oh, and they come together. Ooh. They come together, and and it includes Hawkins as well.
Oh, no.
That's the top 3. That is a screenshot if I've ever seen one. That is the top 3 of the silver class, all coming together. And
the winner of that situation, getting away with a 3-second gap on the leaders. Oh,
that is oof. I mean,
a big oof.
I mean, if we look at it, I mean, we had the onboard cam there, but if we look at it from a bit of what would have happened. Fabini had the outside into Degner, fully
Yeah.
right to go round there.
Yeah.
Milstead I mean, he could have backed out, but
Yeah. Could have.
P1, P2. And then those two have to come in together, and then, like I said, then you see Hawkins come in like a bat out of hell.
Hawkins had not so much chance to actually deal with anything there, really.
Yeah. But like I said,
those
Ed
first
Terrell.
two, I mean, I'd have to watch it about 5 or 6 times to decide who was at fault there. But I mean, they both went for the apex. Neither of them gave up. It's a classic P1, P2, both going for the corner situation, really, isn't it?
But due to that incident, obviously the Tom Tweedy one around Casio Triangle, and the Milstead incident into Degner 1 and 2 has caused 8 of the front 10 to pit because they've all got damage.
Yeah, well,
so
wisely so for a lot of them.
So it's now just going to be a battle of who clears the damage. And at the moment, in the lead in the AM split, without pitting, is Duncan Walker in the Vex Motorsports 113 Aston Martin. So we'll have to see how much he
He did
kicks.
stay out though for that. After that,
Yeah, I mean, he didn't seem to get too much. He just got a little nick on the insides, and then Milstead got collected by Hawkins. So he could be the winner here for Beanie.
So Terrell obviously, could, if he can hold it down, that could be his race win.
Could be if he keeps it clean. Then he should be on to a winner.
And his best lap is a rapid 2017, so that's a good lap. Fabini's best lap 2017 as well. Nobody else in the rest of the pack into the 201s other than Hamling, who has pitted, whose last lap was a 2017, so I guess he pitted relatively early, right, Hamling?
Yeah, I think he did. He did last lap was 2012 is what I've got. Either way.
Yeah.
Still a phenomenal lap.
5/10 above anybody else's best lap this race. So I think Hamling pitted early to avoid that. So he could be the big winner this race. So keep an eye on him when the leaders decide to pit. He's leading the non-pit, the people who have pit so far.
So we're about to see being applied a 10-second penalty to car 109. That's for contact with car 21. So that was between Weschelberg and Elberg. I think you made a comment on that, or that might have been race number 1 actually. Them two getting a bit feisty, but that has led to Weschelberg, who was the rookie leader, was picking up a 10-second penalty. So that gives Mr. Walker the perfect opportunity to retain this lead, be it post-race. Also about to get another penalty come through for car number 3. Let's get some details on that one. Let's have a little look.
It's got a bit of a rookie train happening in the mid-pack with Mason Bottomley and McGuigan. Some of the ones we would have expected to see at the sharp end of the rookie split. Just sort of getting involved in those battles. And I will say, Suzuka is one of those tracks where if you get involved in the battles, it's going to cost you in the long run.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, these guys, the more they do it, the more they'll know what chances to take, especially when we get to our 10-hour, not 10-hour, God, imagine that as a finale. Our 1-hour finale at Paul Ricard at round 5 is hopefully those guys would have figured themselves out by then and be a little bit more safer on the track. And I mean, we're starting to get a few penalties come in. We've seen one for car number 3 for contact with 26. So that's Ian Otley about to pick up a 10-second penalty. We've also had a penalty coming in for car 22. I'm just trying to see what driver is going to get the penalty for...
22 is Milstead.
So Milstead's going to get the penalty then for... I believe that must be the contact of 84. So that was...
Is that Romain?
Yeah, I think that was Romain. 84 is Romain, who has pitted. Yeah. So Ed Terrell into the pits then, and the one we need to look out for was Hamling. He's coming into Spoon at the moment, and he could be the big winner here from doing the undercut, doing the early pit stop.
I will say Milstead is, despite his penalty, is also snagged up in traffic, so he's struggling to find his pace. So I don't think Milstead is in contention, assuming these guys have a good pit stop.
Yeah, definitely so. It's going to be down to who is going to get the jump here. I'm not too sure. Edswell hasn't cleared his pit stop yet. It's still orange on the timing tower you can see on the left-hand side.
Fabini's still not moving.
Fabini's cleared. Fabini's cleared. We did have the earlier pit garage, though.
He's moving now. Oh, he's not. Hamling's gonna. Yeah, easy P1 for Hamling right now.
So there comes our leader on the track. What about between Ed Terrell and there you go? He's got the jump on Fabini. So it's going to be Hamling. Oh, where's Martinez in all of this? Actually, is he? Oh, he's come out the pits as well. So
Yeah, just behind Fabini.
Yeah, so that's going to be the last position on the podium then for our silver drivers, I believe. There could be a scattering. I think, yeah, Lee, Fabini, Terrell, and Martinez all have just pitted. So they will come out in the same order you see them on the timing tower on the left-hand side. But let's have a little look. Does
Terrell net race leader?
I think that's about to turn itself around. Hamling's in the lead at the moment. But after the incidents that we saw Weschelberg getting caught up in, Duncan Walker is in the lead and has about a 1.2 second advantage over Weschelberg. Then, too sure, is that Jason Daly in between them?
Oh yeah, Hamling 6 seconds on Ed Terrell. So
yeah, I mean, that's
really winning out from that early pit stop and the incidents that happened.
This is the battle for the lead. Oh, there's contact. Oh, there's big contact.
What?
Oh, that's 6 cars involved.
There's more coming in.
What happened there then? So that was. So we've got Perez, Hawkins. Oh, so we've got Brew, Perez, Hawkins. So this is Perez. He gets a tap from Hawkins. Guardstig involved, Daly involved. Milstead gets round though. Yeah, Milstead is clear. I think this is a battle for position between Milstead and Daly, but that's involved Pinky as well. Pinky on the grass, getting bumped all over the place.
And Milstead picking up a 10-second penalty at some point.
Yeah, that was for the Degner 2 incident a little while back, I believe.
Yeah, we said about that. That's why these races, you know, these penalties sometimes seem harsh, but they do teach you to keep your nose clean. You know, they seem harsh in race 1, but when you race over a season, you do notice that the dirty drivers get punished and the clean drivers tend to gravitate towards the top. So these guys got to learn to keep their nose clean. I mean, that's all there is to it, right? You know, sometimes you can't avoid an incident, but sometimes you really can. And even if it costs you in the short term, this is a championship, right? It's not a sprint. So you got to remember that keeping your nose clean is one of the most important things in this series.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it just needs to be. We're going to see it happen in race 1.
Let me and you ever listen to that?
No, I know. I mean, do I need to get the YouTube playlist up?
I'd rather you didn't, honestly.
I don't know what's happening there, but let's turn.
One of my first memories of ACCSS was a Zolder race.
Yeah, me getting penalised for your mistake. I remember it well as well. Yeah.
It was literally one of the first multiplayer races I'd ever done, and I sent it down the first chicane. And then later on afterwards, I was like very proud that somebody had made a YouTube video of me. It was DT complaining about the dive I'd made on him.
I wasn't complaining about the dive you made on me. I was complaining about Mr. Steve Worrell penalising me for that said dive. It was turn 2, wasn't it? Where...
It was the second chicane. Well, the first chicane in Zolder. I literally sent it over the big curb.
I remember
lack of experience on my part.
I remember one incident that we had, like the very first incident where I think it was the first time we'd all really spoke to each other, as we see 305. That's Terry Williams. He's gone.
He's gone.
There's another yellow flag in that is something 7. 87 is that? Yeah,
87,
87. Then that's
Daly.
Daly. He was he was up there. See what happened to Mr. Daly. No, one of my very first experiences of our interaction as a community was, that's Older Race. I think it was, he gets a little bump round from Milstead then, so Milstead expect to see another penalty from there. Turn 2, and I went full Sherlock Holmes on you, I think it was, because I got a penalty for causing you to spin, and I was like, actually, if you look at the onboard, Mr. Worrell, you'll find that Chris Meadows steered into me. And he's like, oh yes, you are correct. Removes the penalty.
Yeah,
I
mean, probably correct. It was like literally one of like the second or third online race I'd ever done.
And my ego hasn't come back down since.
No, I still haven't beaten you since, so
yeah,
that's what upsets me most.
Oh, they're 3 wide into the hairpin then. Pinckney, Gonzalez, and a back marker. I believe that's Carl. Is that Jan? That's Carl Grant. I don't know. It's someone. Yeah, I think it's I don't know.
He's splashing. Whoever
yeah,
it
it's
is.
Carl Grander. Carl Gander is the Audi. There we go. Carl Gander is the Audi.
Oh, the back marker. Yeah, they're asking him to get out of the way.
I mean, he is being as courteous as he possibly can. A little bit of a hold up on Perez, but then he spins on. He collects Tom Tweedy and 21. Oh, Gander, don't flash, mate, if you're gonna make that happen. Let's have a look at how that all unfolded.
Oh no, he's gone mass over. Like we were talking about earlier, he's hit that oversteer on the spoon exit and just lost it. But with the cars being so close behind him, he had nowhere to go. Look,
so he
hits the throttle, he turns in. No, I'm too late. No.
Oh, he's
three people on the way through. Oh, you hate to see that.
Tom Tweedy did survive though, otherwise we wouldn't hear the end of it. And he has actually managed to get a pass done on Perez. He hasn't got it slowed down into turn 1. He nearly got a pass done.
He tried. Tom Tweedy, veteran of the ACCSS community.
He loves it.
I was having a look at the dates people had signed in. You know, I'm 2 days a veteran in this community than you are.
Oh, fair play.
2 days before you did.
The first one. Who's the first member though? I'm testing you because I know who it is.
Were, right?
Oh yeah, okay. Who's the first non-owner admin? Who's the first public person? You don't know? Oh, see, there's the difference between the admin and the owner, ladies and gentlemen. Mattia Lysin is the first member. Don't know if you remember him.
I do remember him.
You remember he was the first public ACCSS member back in the days before the times of I was retired from broadcasting, but before the times broadcasting was even on the table.
I was about to say, dragged you out of that. You can't complain. You can't claim that anymore now that you've come back to it. You're no longer retired.
Ugh, I'm just tired.
Hey, somebody has to communicate with me. Oh, who was that? That's Milstead. Milstead's gone off. Pinckney too, and Gonzalez. Well, 3 of them have gone off at the exit of Spoon there.
Were they all in a? So that's.
Back when Rob Duck was the best member of ACCSS, I remember that.
So, we're on board with. Oh, it's Milstead.
That was Milstead.
Milstead was the one that called. Yeah. Milstead had the contact, and that collected Pinckney and someone else.
Yeah, Pinckney's still having issues. He's been off since 1:30.
Oh, who's the Lexus? So... Who's the Lexus there?
That's Tweedy, right?
That's number 12. It's got a 0 in it. 403. We got a 4.
He's coming into pit with 1 minute to go. So yeah, he's done.
Trying to see who the Lexus is.
So it must have been Milstead that caused that issue potentially.
Oh, it was Guardstig. Guardstig had the issue into.
Yeah,
caught the curb.
Enough back. Oh.
Spun on himself. We can have a loud pedal for that. We can have a loud pedal in the chat.
Yeah, give him a loud pedal. Everybody loud pedal.
Everybody loud pedal in the chat if you're still here. The 42 of you that are here this evening. Back when I was still young, Rob, you were very much younger back in then. Very much an experienced. I can't wait to see you.
Here, right? He's making a return, right?
Yeah,
Rob
he's
Dog,
back.
Highest ranked member of ACCSS.
The best driver that ACCSS has to offer.
Yeah.
And also one of the only ones outside of my friend group that I have met. I had the pleasure of meeting Rob and Martin, his brother, at Sim Racing Expo a couple of weekends ago.
Also, one of the most people I would like to meet out of everybody in ACCSS. You know, most of the people here, don't want to meet those guys. But Rob, he seems like a good guy.
Do you know what? What came to me as I met Rob and Martin at Sim Racing Expo? Very, very tall. I mean, everyone. I felt like a very, very small person at Expo. I'm 6 foot, right?
You're saying, all right. I won't even comment on that.
I am 6 foot, and I was surrounded by. I had neck ache after 3 days.
Damn, I don't stand a chance then. I'm 5'9".
I mean, if I'm like communicating with like Jimmy and his team, they're very like they're shorter.
There's been another big incident with some back markers.
Oh, where?
Oh, in Degna 2.
36.
Matt Howe, Legursky, and Medina have all been involved in an incident in Degna 2 there. Who's winning this race? Hamling.
Oh, is it 14? It's number 4.
Slow.
Car number 4, Camille, just comes into the 36 was slow due to the number 1.
Camille at that point as well.
The 36 was slow due to the number 1. Which the leader's about to catch now.
Alright, Vado, I'll allow this. Apparently arse is a term we don't allow in this chat. To prove it as a moderator.
Guess Tom Tweedy, by the way, for the second race in a row, drive through for track limits. He got himself all the way up to P11. And is going to have to serve either the drive through or the penalty after the race. But Hamling then comes across the line to take the win for race number 1. Ian Otley, instead of letting him go, so he doesn't have to do another lap, now has to do another lap. So Hamling takes the lead then, and it looks like Weschelberg. Oh, maybe not actually, because
Terrell P2, Fabini P3. Nice.
I was about to say Weschelberg would be winning the rookie split, but has a 10-second penalty to his name. So Duncan Walker then is going to come across the line in P1 of the rookie split.
Nice.
And I think Cal Mason is going to lose his podium due to a 10-second penalty.
Don't crash into people then. That's all I would say to him.
Duncan Walker then comes across the line to win the rookie split for race number 2.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
What a race.
What a race.
What a race from the guys, man. Big shout out to Hamling. That undercut, massive undercut, paid off such dividends. Who'd have seen that coming with the incident that happened in front of him with, who was it, Fubini, and who were the other people involved in that?
The incident at the start? The Degna? No,
the mid-race where Fubini, it was Hamling, right? And the Ferrari, who was in the Ferrari? The 22 Ferrari.
Milstead is the 22 Ferrari.
Milstead, yes. Milstead, Fubini, and...
Hawkins. Hawkins was the other one. Yeah, Hawkins was the other one.
So Hamlin coming out clutch because of that, but also got himself out of the way, you know?
Yep, definitely. Got himself well and truly, completely and utterly out of the way of the incident. Ed Terrell then takes the second place. Just for that little sensible bit of driving, gets himself well and truly out of the way then.
Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday indeed. Picks himself up a
birthday
podium.
That means he has to buy us all a drink, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, me too.
So there we go then, ladies and gentlemen. That is round 1 over. round 1 is over for the Fridays. So for the rookies and the silver drivers, they're going to be back next week at Laguna Seca. Very warm Laguna Seca, I think, especially for the pro guys. But yeah, any closing thoughts, Chris?
It was great. I loved it. I loved every part of this race. I loved the people that commented on it. I thought the racing was good. The attempts at overtakes were good. As I said, the qualifying was great, and I cannot wait for them to throw down again next week.
Exactly. So we'll be back here same time. Well, Roy Weller will be here tomorrow night to bring you the action for the gold and bronze race, and then Gareth Ronda will be back in the usual Sunday night slot for the pro split. Not sure who he's got alongside. I think it might be Jonas. Who's alongside him in the pro
best
split.
voice in ACCSS, that guy.
But if you are new to the community, have been here for the very first time, feel free to hit the sign up button that's about to come up in chat. Take you over to the Discord, and that's where you can get all the information on where you can take part in any future rounds of the ACC Sim Series Championship Series number 9. That's going to lead us out this evening. So my name has been Dan Terry. I've been joined in the booth by the wonderful Chris Meadows. Thank you for being here. Thank you for pulling me out of retirement. It's been fun. And we'll see you all back here for our show next Friday night, 7 o'clock. Be here or be square. That makes sense.
To click the Twitch buttons.
Click the Twitch buttons, the follow button, the subscribe button, the like button, I don't know what other buttons there are.
Click them all.
Click all of the buttons. Not the report button, though. Not that one. Not that one.
Maybe that one. Who cares?
Enjoy your evening, guys. We'll see you back here same time tomorrow for our show, same time next week. See you later.
Count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero. With fearless thoughts, emotions swirl. I wanna